Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Creative Crossover. 8 episodes, can you believe it? So this is the show where I interview somebody working in the creative field and I have a conversation with them about what they do, how they do it, and more importantly, why they do it. So as always, before we get into today's show, I'd love to reach out to you and connect on social media. If you could find me across all of them, it's at Jack Spedding, which is JAKSPEDDING. Tag a couple of people that you think could be interested either in listening to the podcast or being on the podcast and being interviewed. That would be absolutely amazing and really does help us grow. Anyway, on to today's guest. It's Morgana from Coffee Work Sleep. Hi Morgana and welcome to the show. Just to start, can you tell me a little bit about who you are and what it is you do, please?
Hi, so yes, I'm Morgana. I'm a social media coach for small businesses and I'm the founder of Coffee Work Sleep Creatives, which is a networking community for female creative business owners.
Perfect. So first up, we're going to have a little quick fire round just so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
The first question is iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone, any particular reason?
It's all I've ever had, really. As in, I'm kind of an Apple person. I got an iPhone and that's it. I never look back.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know what to do with a different phone.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. That's it. Once you're in, aren't you?
Yeah.
And they know that as well.
Oh, of course.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Netflix, cool. Are you watching anything good at the moment?
I'm waiting for the new Grace and Frankie season to drop. I absolutely love that. Love that. But I am a huge Netflix geek. I've pretty much watched a lot of stuff on there, to be honest. So, yeah, love it.
Cool. Work hard or play hard?
Oh, no, that's not fair. I'm such a middle ground person. Can I not do both?
50-50?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Got to have the balance.
Yeah, definitely. Text or call?
Text.
100%. Love or money?
Love.
There was no hesitation in your voice there. It was straight in. Book or audiobook?
Book.
Are you reading anything good at the moment?
I'm reading How to Own the Room by Viv Grossgrop. It's kind of about how to be a better public speaker, learning different techniques and things. It's really, really good. But cool. I love a good book.
Nice one. Cool. Are they all sort of marketing and social media oriented?
No, I like a lot of fiction as well. I'm a bit of a book hoarder, to be honest. I've got many bookshelves filled with books. Nice. I can't part with them.
Yeah, cool. What would you say is the best thing that you own?
Oh my goodness. My home, probably.
Cool.
If I can, everything in it.
Yeah. Cool. And you might like this one then. What's the best thing that you don't own?
Oh, my family.
Your family. Cool.
Yeah.
So start me on your creative journey. Where did it all begin with for you?
I've always been quite a creative person, whether that's kind of art, music, writing. But it was really career-wise. It's when I was on maternity leave with my youngest child that I started kind of dabbling into blogging. So we're looking at kind of 2011, 12, I think. So right at the start of the kind of mummy blogging thing. So it's a very small group of people who are doing it at that point. So that's kind of how I had a bit of a creative outlet, use my brain while I'm looking after my small children.
Yep.
And so then from then onwards, I started working in partnership with lots of different brands. But when my daughter started school, I decided to move away from that. I set up a small online boutique for children's accessories, like buying in brands, selling. And I learned a lot through that. So applying everything I learned from blogging for my social media marketing, putting that into practice in running my own kind of business.
Yep.
So I did that for a few years, really enjoyed it, learned a ton, made millions of mistakes.
Yeah.
But learned a huge amount in the process of that. Decided to close that down, and that's when I started putting basically all I'd learned over the years of blogging and running the boutique, all I learned through social media marketing firsthand, and then helping other business owners to do the same. Basically.
Right, cool. Yeah, so that's sort of brought you to social media. What's made you take sort of the route of training other people rather than handling those clients yourself? What's made you go that route?
Basically, I absolutely love working alongside somebody and kind of unlocking the potential of
Yep.
Instagram or Pinterest for their business and just giving them the tools to kind of empower them to do it themselves, really, because people get a bit nervous if you're not very confident on social media. You don't even know where to begin. But if you go with some simple steps, it's super easy. And I think especially if you're a micro business owner, if it's just you or if you've got a very small team, you are the best person to showcase your brand through social media. You know your business inside out. It's your baby. So people buy from people. So if you can put that across in your social media, it's kind of gold dust, really. So yeah. I'm a huge believer in that, and I love working one-to-one or in small groups to help people understand that a bit better.
Amazing, definitely. So you mentioned you set your blog up, was it 8 years ago now?
Yes, something like that, yeah.
And you've just started, from what I've seen, you just started doing some affiliate marketing with the likes of Zero. Could you just take us through sort of the process of how you went from sort of setting up your own blog and how you've got it to the point where you can actually make money from it?
So yes, like I said, when I initially started blogging, it was kind of at the very start of influencer marketing, really. So working with brands, so they'd send me product and then I'd review it, and then it got to the point where I'd be paid by companies to write posts. So I joined kind of a couple of different websites where you fill in your details and then they match up with companies. But it's a very different industry now than it was back then. It's a huge industry. So trying to be seen is it's a very different business, basically. So I think you have to be really niche now to get anywhere. You have to be very passionate about your niche. And then you can approach, once you've kind of got a bit of a readership, you can then approach businesses to work with them.
Right. Cool. So what sort of level of readership do you need to look at to be sort of making any money, I suppose, from a blog? Has that sort of raised as the years have gone by?
It's a difficult one because you need to have a very good, without going too technical, you need to have a very good domain authority. You need a lot of backlinks on your site. Be kind of ranking quite high to make it worthwhile for them to working with you. You've got to have a very good social media visibility now. And I think because it's such a huge industry, companies are constantly kind of upping who they'll work with, basically. So they're wanting to work with bigger influencers. So if you're kind of starting out, the best thing you can be doing is approaching small businesses and working with them and kind of working your way up, basically. Because if you're a brand new blogger or influencer and you're trying to work with a huge brand, you're not going to get your foot in the door. But if you can get your kind of experience doing a little bit of work for free or approaching smaller businesses that you've got contacts with, that's kind of how you kind of get going, really. And again, if you can be niche, that's the best route to go down.
Right. Yeah. So do you still think there is a sort of a viable business in doing that, or do you think sort of it's past its prime?
I just think it's a lot harder to do now. People think it's super easy and think, I could do that. You just take a few photos, stick them on Instagram, and people send you stuff. I've had so many people say that to me over the years, that I could do that. And you're like, okay then.
Prove it.
But it does take a lot of work behind the scenes. You've got to grow a readership. You've got to grow a community, really. And it is getting a lot harder to do as more people are trying, because you've got a lot more competition.
Yes. Yeah. You mentioned before Pinterest. Pinterest is one of those that I've only recently not discovered. I always knew it was there, but I didn't really see the power of it. And certainly since November time, I guess, I've started sort of putting my blog through Pinterest, and it's absolutely amazing the amount of reach you can get from that.
Yes.
I think it was about 750,000 visitors in December alone, and that wasn't spending too much time. It was maybe 2 or 3 hours on it in November. And it was something I'd totally sort of said, that's not my right market. So can you just take us into a bit more detail of how you would use it and how you use it with your clients?
Yeah, like you said, Pinterest can be a huge driver of traffic to your website, whether that's a retail site, whether it's a blog or a service-based business with a blog. You can get a huge amount of click-throughs if you know what you're doing. I think a lot of people have Pinterest for a personal account and don't really know that you can use it for business. And at its core, Pinterest is a search engine.
Yes.
And people don't realize that. They think it's just a social media platform. But actually, you go on Pinterest and you're wanting an answer to a question. So whether it's you're redoing your bathroom and you want to get inspiration, or you want an answer to a particular question, you put it on Pinterest and loads of articles come up So if you're writing blogs for your business, you wanted to be thinking about your industry and what questions people are going to be asking, and then you answer them.
Yes.
And then you put together a nice pin, upload it into Pinterest, make sure your link's there, and just give it a go. And it can work wonders.
Yeah. Are you using really things like Tailwind and things like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that was one of the big things for me, was realizing, well, the power of it was using things like Tailwind to help promote it.
Definitely. You need to invest a bit of time, and once you kind of get the hang of it and it's part of your kind of business routine, basically, it can do really well for you, for sure.
Yeah, so cool. The first time, I think I came across you only a couple of months ago, and you seem to have been everywhere since then. The first time I came, it was Society One were promoting one of your coffee, work, sleep creative meetups. Yes. Can you just go back towards that and tell us a bit more about that and how it came about, please?
Okay, so I've only had coffee, work, sleep creatives for less than a year, really. I think it's kind of Easter last year that I started it.
Yeah.
Basically, when you work on your own at home, you don't get to see many people, and it can get quite isolating. And you have like Twitter or online friends, but that's about it, really. And I've got a few other friends in the area who run their own businesses from home, and we'd go for coffee every now and again, but there's only so much time in your week you can go out for coffee with various different people. And as lovely as it is, it doesn't make you any money. So I was like, right, I really want to do something that gets everyone in the same place, so you can kind of meet a photographer, a graphic designer, you can share your business story, what's going on with you, you can book people. If you need a graphic designer, there's someone in your group, that kind of stuff. And I've been to other networking events and just not found those people that I was wanting to connect with that work with my business. I kind of saw the same kind of businesses, but not the ones that I was really looking for, not the people that I was looking for. And so I thought, well, I can't be the only one who feels intimidated by kind of standard boardroom networking. There must be other people, other creatives who kind of are stuck at home and without a community. So I spoke to a few friends and said, right, if I set up a Facebook group, would you join it? And they were like, yeah, let's give it a go. So it started as a Facebook group, and then more people started to add their friends, and that kind of grew. And then we started doing monthly meetup events, first at Townhouse, and then we got too big for the upstairs at Townhouse. We moved to Society One, and it's grown. So I think I've worked really hard at creating a really strong culture of community, collaboration, kind of working together, supporting each other. It's not about just coming in for what you can get out of it. It's about kind of building up a community, and I think that really resonates with creatives, especially, and that they want it to be like an authentic connection rather than just someone talking to you because they're trying to think what they can sell you. Definitely. I've had a similar experience at more formal networking. So I've tried to work hard to kind of not do that, because if people want that, that's great. There's plenty of other meetings that they can go to get that. So this is just something different that's kind of got a different audience, basically.
Nice. I'm just looking through the website, which for anybody who's listening is coffeeworksleeprepeat.com.
Thank you.
And some of the images on there, it looks really, really well attended, and there's a lot of feedback on there, which is all positive as well. I know from my own experience of trying to get 20, 30 people in a room, it doesn't always happen, and it is really hard. Can you just give me a bit more information on why you think it's been so popular?
I think because really there isn't another thing like it at the moment. And I think it just tapped into a need. And I have to say it, like hand on heart, not really done a lot to grow it to that stage. I've obviously worked hard in the Facebook group, do a lot of kind of working hard on the community, and then people will then, like the members become like mini evangelists, basically. Because they enjoy it so much, they then meet someone else and like, oh, you've got to come to this. And then they bring a friend, and it's kind of just grown like that. And at the moment, our meetups, when I put the tickets link up in our Facebook group, and then a day later I will put it out to like our social media channels, and it sells out within 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and they're gone. And I've got a waiting list and people messaging me going, oh, please can I come?
Yeah, that's amazing.
But then it's like thinking, okay, do we do a bigger? Do we do 2? Like, how do we kind of make sure we're meeting the need that's there, really?
Yes. So talking about the need, do you obviously think there's a lack of support out there in the creative environment for women? How can we all go about changing that?
I think what I've come to realise just from running this group and then getting to know other businesses through places like Society One, that there is quite a lot of business support out there that I just didn't know about, and that so many people in this area just don't have a clue about at all. I think if you're not kind of plugged into one of them, you don't know about any of them.
Yeah.
So I've been to a few events recently and gone, gosh, I had no idea how much you can do. I've no idea. I didn't know that Boost, and all these kind of different things were out there. So if my group, if I can kind of be a bit of a connecting point for the people like me who didn't know any of this stuff, and then we can kind of connect them up with these support services that are out there, and that'll be great. So it's not as a lack of support, it's as if there's kind of a bit of a lack of connection almost.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Cool. And what would you say that the future holds for yourself? What's your sort of end goal?
Oh, that's a very big question.
Does it change on a daily basis?
Yeah, I'm quite like, I get ideas and I'm like, oh, I'll do this and I'll do that. I think to keep growing the community, basically, to keep the core values strong as we grow, to not kind of let it kind of exponentially grow and we lose like the key community over collaboration values. But yeah, just to grow it, to keep connecting other business owners, to keep nurturing small startups, just that kind of, just to carry on with what we're doing, but just to kind of do it better and grow it.
Yeah, nice one, cool. Nearly there. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to work in your space?
I think you've definitely got to be passionate. You've got to have a lot of determination. I'm sure any small business owner will tell you exactly the same thing, that there's really tough times and you've got to really believe in what you're doing, and put the work in and have a lot of grit to kind of see it through. It's not easy, but it's hugely rewarding. If it's something you're passionate about, you can do so much. So yeah, keep going. Yeah, definitely, I'd agree. And finally, where can people find you online? Where's the best place for people to connect with you and find out more about yourself and the meetups? Yes, I've got my main website, which you've mentioned already, the coffeeworksleeprepeat.com. So that's got my coaching business information on there, my blog, and all the information about Coffee Work Sleep Creatives. I'm on Twitter, Coffee Work Sleep, and the Creatives group is on Twitter, CWS Creatives. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Cool. Kind of all of them. But if you put Coffee Work Sleep or CWS Creatives, you'll probably find me on one of them. Amazing. Thank you very much for that. Oh, thank you. And that's it for episode 8 of Creative Crossover. I hope you found something valuable in that conversation there. If you could leave us an iTunes review or a review on whichever platform you are listening on, it really helps the show grow and does make all the difference. Thank you very much. Goodbye.